two main differences between the accepted paradigm and what the reality is. You have two fundamental philosophies that are completely different. I just want to point those out to people, that way they know what's going on here. In establishment science, you have everything centered on what's called disks. You have disk-centered orientations for everything. And the evolutionary time frames and things that we should know about the stars can only be determined by surface phenomenon, meaning you have a hot young star in the front ripping away at an older star, what they call exoplanet, and you can only determine what composition that star is comprised of that's being destroyed by the composition of the ripped away components or the outer atmosphere. Now what you see is that only limits the understanding to surface phenomenon only, and it only allows for surface structure to be deciphered. With stellar metamorphosis, you have the three-dimensional structure or volumetric understanding going on here. You have volumetric evolutionary paths. So you have V3, meaning the entire structure, the entire three-dimensional structure of the star evolves. Not just the surface being ripped away, but the interior evolves and forms what's called the exoplanet or planet as it cools, dies, or loses mass and matter to younger, hotter hosts. So you have two basic fundamental differences between what establishment accepts as rational, understandable science and the reality. And the reason why they accept the disk theory and everything is accretion disk centered is because back in the 1920s when Hubble and Humason started discovering that those nebulae out there weren't solar systems in formation, they were entire galaxies, nobody let them know. Nobody said, wait a second, these are entire galaxies? I thought they were new solar systems. But nobody, the other theorizers didn't get word of it. They completely missed the bus. So now we have entire galaxies out there, and we have people still believing that those galaxies subconsciously are new solar systems. It's so weird how that works. It just branched off, yet it was only supposed to be the star is a spherical structure and it cools, collapses, and dies, becoming the planet. That's how it always was supposed to be. But now we have all these theorizers and publishing articles on Archive and Astrophysical Journal and Astrophysical Journal Letters and all those other things like Nature and stuff. This was the galaxy, man. It should have been obvious to them. Planets don't form from disks. They're spherical structures. A planet is an ancient star. But basically that's the main root philosophy. That's the big paradigm change we have going on here. Today is March 3rd, 2016. Hopefully this clarifies things a little bit more for people.